The Cockcroft-Gault equation may not provide a reliable estimate of actual renal clearance in all situations. Some circumstances where an alternate method or formula may be preferable include: select all that apply. A, when renal function is fluctuating rapidly. B, in end-stage renal disease. C, in very young children. D, in young healthy adults. E, in patients with mild to moderate renal insufficiency. So to answer this question, it's easiest to find out what is the creatinine clearance formula? So I'll just write that down. 140 minus age, times it by patient's weight, all divided by serum creatinine times 72, and then if they're female, 0.085. This is irrelevant for this question. But so for question part A, when renal function is fluctuating rapidly, is this not provide a reliable estimate of actual renal clearance? The answer is yes. This is one of the choices because serum creatinine is how they measure the renal function. So if this fluctuates rapidly, it'll alter this number a lot because serum creatinine is on the denominator. So for example, if serum creatinine was 1.2 on the first day, and then on the second day it's 0.6, then your creatinine clearance here, it's going to double. So that's like a big significant difference, and it doesn't correctly represent this creatinine clearance. Does not correctly represent actual renal clearance. Because how could they have good renal clearance on one day and then bad renal clearance the next day? So that's how I know A is at least one of the answer choices. So answer choice B, in end-stage renal disease. This is also one of the answer choices because in end-stage renal disease, serum creatinine in the denominator will alter the creatinine clearance. Just the same thing as choice A, because patients with this end-stage renal disease, also known as ESRD, when they have that, their serum creatinine will be very high. And then when you actually work in the hospital, you'll see that the serum creatinine can be like 5 or maybe 10. Something really high, when the normal serum creatinine should be 6.2 to 1.2. 6.6 to 1.2 is the normal serum creatinine. Whereas people with ESRD, end-stage renal disease, their serum creatinine will be like really high, like 5 or 10. So then when you calculate this in the formula here, your creatinine clearance will be extremely low. Very low creatinine clearance because serum creatinine is in the denominator. So if this number is really high, this will make this creatinine clearance very low. So choice C, in very young children, this is also the correct answer. This is not a reliable estimate of actual renal clearance. That's because in very young children, you'll get very low serum creatinine, such as like usually I see 0.3 or 0.2, something really low, because creatinine is from muscle breakdown. So that's why almost always young children will have very low serum creatinine numbers, way below normal. And because these children, they have very little muscle, that's why. And serum creatinine is from muscle breakdown. So then these young children, their creatinine clearance value, when they plug in the equation, so if they have really low, like 0.3 for the serum creatinine, this number is going to be very high creatinine clearance for these young healthy children, these very young children. So that's why it's not a reliable estimate of actual renal clearance, because it doesn't tell you that much. So now answer choice D, this one's wrong. because in young healthy adults, this is like the ideal patient to use this creatinine clearance formula. And then choice E is also not correct, because in patients with mild to renal insufficiency, this actually does provide a reliable estimate, because in young healthy adults, in patients mild to moderate renal insufficiency, if this is low creatinine clearance, it'll tell us if patient has renal insufficiency. That's because serum creatinine value is in the denominator. And then this serum creatinine would be like towards the high end, like 1.2, maybe 1.5 or something. And then this value of creatinine clearance would be kind of low. So it'll tell you that they have mild to moderate renal insufficiency. That's why the answer in the computer is A, B, and C. Those are the three choices that are correct for this question that do not provide a reliable estimate of renal clearance. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments. Thank you.